Hey, welcome back to another episode of Veterun. I'm your host, Jonathan Richardson. Before I introduce our guest this morning, just a couple PSAs. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. I usually do this at the end, but I'm moving it to the beginning because I know half of you won't make it to the end. Not because of today's episode, but I watch my analytics, so I know what you guys are doing. Y'all are skipping around. I don't like that. But anyway, today's guest is Colonel Margaret Miller, 36 years retired. We've known each other for about 6 months now, I'd say. We started working together on a committee for the Marine Corps celebration this year. So I've had the privilege of knowing her for about 6 months. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to you. We're going to talk about your RAN. So your RAN is your military service. So you went in 1987? 1985.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is talk from 1985 to whenever you retired, 2021. Whatever's in between there before you picked up, I believe officers get DD-214s too, right?
Yes.
Okay. So whenever you picked up your DD-214, that's where you're going to stop. So that's your RAM.
Oh boy. Well, you guys buckle up, all right?
36 years. It's going to be a long one.
So yeah, had a terrific time. It was like the best of times and the worst of times. I'll be honest with you. So John, when I enlisted, I'm from Carrollton, Georgia, and I was at West Georgia College at the time, now university, which you're a student of, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't doing great. I was out of high school in '84, started college in '85, and I just really felt like I didn't want to be in school, but I was on a full scholarship, classical voice. I was not into it at all, but I was working at a cool place called the Maple Street Mansion.
So you were a singer?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, classical trained singer.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
And you should hear my cadence. I can sing a cadence now.
I've heard her go yut or raw, whatever it is. Yeah, that right there. Crazy loud.
So I was working and I had to go see the dean a few times because I just wasn't. My grades were like I was happy to have a C because I was staying out late doing the party thing, not uncommon. But I met a recruiter, a Marine Corps recruiter. He came in the Maple Street Mansion. He was looking really sharp, and this is not like a pickup thing. He was not trying to pick me up. It was an afternoon, and he sat down with his benefit cards. And he showed me all of these things. Well, I had run track in junior high and high school. So I was already, an athlete to a certain degree. And running was easy for me. And so I really thought, I want to get out of this one horse town. Carrollton was pretty small back then. So I decided that I was going to go in. Of course, when I told all my friends, they were like, bullshit, you're not going to. Oh, sorry. Can I swear on this channel?
You sure can.
Okay. And so they didn't think I was going to do it. So that night we were partying again. They're like putting money on the table. It was like $50. 7 people came up with $50 and said, I dare you. I said, I'm going to do it. They're like, no, we dare you. And we say, you're not going to go. We got $50 that you're not going to do it. Of course, that just made me all the more certain that I was going to do it. Now, fast forward, 1985 boot camp, Paris Island, all excited to get there until I got there. And it was when the sand fleas were waking up in April.
Okay.
Good times.
Terrible time to be there.
Good times.
Yeah.
Sand fleas in your nose, ears, eyes, stinging you everywhere. Was pretty cool. But I got to be the guide all the way up until the last week before graduation, which they took it away from me and didn't tell me why. So I did get one of the honor grads.
Okay.
But they didn't tell me that's why they took the guide away. So it was like, somebody just removed a kidney or something because it was just terrible. I worked so hard. But it was because I had to be on the honor squad I got the PFT award in boot camp. And then from there, I went to the Marine Air Group in Atlanta at Dobbins Air Base. Okay. There was a Naval Air Station at the time. It's no longer there. It's been disbanded. But so I got my start as an admin clerk. I got to go to admin school in Camp Pendleton, which was cool for an East Coast person to get to go to the West Coast for school. And then I was on active duty. For some reason, it's like wherever I went, they kind of augmented me for periods of active duty because I had kind of dropped out of school for a little while, so I had time on my hands. And so, I was active duty here and there. Got to learn a lot. Got to meet a lot of really cool people. Went on annual trainings out in Yuma, Arizona. Really had an interesting time. I got kind of hemmed up with a gunnery sergeant at admin school, which I'm not real proud of, but wound up in a relationship with a gunnery sergeant
So
as a
oh, a
PFC.
PFC in it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was a meritorious PFC out of boot camp, and then went to school, and then met him. He's 35 years. I don't know how old. He was old.
Mm.
Uh,
And you're like
but
19
yeah, I was
some? Okay.
19. Yeah, I was 19, and got married in Iwakuni, Japan, and so that was a whole nother uh, episode. We won't even go there. Let's just carry on.
That'll be episode 2.
We'll just carry on.
Okay.
No, but we're still friends. I mean, we got together not long ago. He and his sixth or seventh wife. I don't know which one she is, but she's a nice lady. He's crazy.
Wow. Were
Yeah.
you the first wife or
Second.
you were second? Okay.
I was number 2.
No, we don't have to get
It
into
was
that,
like,
but yeah.
you think about number 2, it's crap. Anyway, so and okay, so we went to after Iwakuni, Japan, went to Washington D.C. I was at Headquarters Marine Corps, just because he was also at Headquarters Marine Corps. He was active duty. I was reserve, so I did my drills. I worked as a lifeguard at the Headquarters Marine Corps pool,
Oh, cool.
and that was during the Iran Contra hearings. Have you heard about that in the 1980s?
Before my
88?
time. Before my time.
You weren't
So
even born.
I wasn't even born yet.
Okay, so in the late 80s, a Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, Marine, was kind of scapegoated for the Iran Contra disaster, where we were providing weapons and arms to the Contras. There was a drug war and kind of thing. But of course, everybody knows a lieutenant colonel is not going to be making all the decisions. But he kind of got scapegoated. But he was having to testify to Congress every day. Well, he would come and do his little run around Headquarters Marine Corps, Arlington Cemetery, if you know where that is, just south of DC proper. And he'd come to our pool. And first time he came, he was sweating. He had his suit guys with their suit briefcases sitting there in suits while he jumped in the pool to do some laps, and it was all nasty. So of course, I was a corporal at that time, and as soon as he got out, I said, "Respectfully, sir, you're going to have to shower like a little dumb corporal, like it mattered. Ridiculous." So I thought I was doing like the proper thing by, sir.
You need to rinse off before you jump in my pool.
Please rinse off.
You told Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North to do that. Yeah.
And we wound up talking about it later on. I did some volunteer work for a charity that he provided for youth. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But he was really cool about it. He was like, absolutely, Corporal, no problem, And then from then on, we were cool, and he would shower me before he'd get in the
Well,
pool.
that was nice of him.
That was kind of cool. So after DC, and I was also my civilian job was at Crystal City. I worked for the Office of Naval Research, which was a fantastic job. I worked as a secured skiff, meaning I had a TS with a SCI, a top secret clearance back when I was a corporal in the reserves. They gave me a TS, so I used that in my civilian job. Oh, cool. So I had a fantastic job working with Navy admirals, Navy captains who were doing engineering research, the Ace Stovall project, short takeoff, vertical landing aircraft.
Okay.
So that was their program, and I got to kind of grow up. I was 21. Got to kind of grow up around that, which is really terrific. I would have never gotten experiences like that had I not married the crazy old guy, gone to DC. You never know.
Well, that started the $50 bet. That's where it started.
That's where it started.
That's where it started. Okay.
That's where it started. So I guess moving forward, I came back to Carrollton after I left him. I moved back to Carrollton, and this was in 1990. But then Desert Storm kicked up, and I was asked to come out to Camp Pendleton to support the Warrior Training Command, which we brought in reservists and retirees for Desert Storm. Okay. So we had to bring them back, get them processed, get them haircut, get them uniforms, all that kind of crap, so they could go. We didn't know how long the Kuwait War. This was when Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1989. We got involved in 90, and we squashed it in just a few months.
Okay.
So
almost my birthday. We're almost there.
We're almost there. This is some history.
Yeah.
Some history. So I was out in California for a couple of years with Desert Shield, Desert Storm. Came back 1991 to Carrollton, always my landing point because my family's from here and lives here. So I came back here and went back to West Georgia College, got my degree. 1994. Well, I was a reservist in Atlanta. I went back to the 4th FSSG, Force Service Support Group, which is now Marine Logistics Group.
Okay.
Have
At
you heard of?
Dobbins?
Yes,
Okay.
at Dobbins. But back then it was called something different. So my OIC's writing my fitness reports. I was a sergeant at that time. Writing my fitness reports, you're like, you really need to look into becoming an officer. And I was like, I was doing theater here. I was having a good time. I wasn't really thinking about that. But then I did go talk to an officer selection officer, OSO, at the recruiting office. And they're like, absolutely, you'd be great. All of my fit reps said needs to be an officer, at least during those 3 years. So I did that.
Okay.
And I was 27 years old. So I was a lot older than a lot of the candidates that go to officer candidate school in Quantico. But I had a fantastic time. Also got the PFT award at Quantico because, again, running was just kind of easy for me. I ran from my big brothers and it just stuck. So I've got a big family. So went to OCS summer of '94. Well, I graduated Sunday, June the 11th or something, 1994. That same day I graduated, I shipped.
Oh, wow.
So had graduation in the morning, went to Atlanta, got on a flight to DC,
Oh, wow.
and was in Quantico that night. Of course, I did a little thing. Everybody else was like so nervous. They're sitting there. I'd already been in for 9 years. I went straight to the bar at the airport because we were early. Got a double margarita, double shots, smoking. This is back when you could smoke in the airport. I just thought I was so cool. So
you were a stacked, butter bar at that point. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I wasn't a butter bar yet because
Okay.
you're a candidate.
Oh,
I was a
okay.
sergeant,
Gotcha.
but I was a candidate. So, but I just was like, I thought I was too cool for school, and the others are, right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee, sitting there in the airport, like looking like that. I'm like, hey, come get me when y'all are about to, when you hear the blah, blah, blah. So one of the girls goes, candidate Miller, it's time to go. Nervous as crap. I was like, all right, hey, give me one more shot before I report to Quantico. I was a little bit, look, I always have more sense than I did courage. I mean, more courage than sense. So anyway, that's a kind of little bit of a funny story. But when I got there, it was, I was feeling no pain. And they was laughing at me too because I had heels and a dress on from my graduation party. I just went straight to everybody's in their little khaki breeches and their little collared shirt, and here I am, hair down, whatever. So it was kind of a little bit. People tell stories about me even still. It's kind of a legend.
I believe it.
Yeah, they're like, because they were so like mortified, like, who is this? She's gonna drop out. There's no way she can make it. And then I kind of stomped them all.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I know that sounds really braggadocious, and I apologize for that. But it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. I really enjoyed Officer Candidate School. It's 10 weeks of OCC, which is the Officer Candidate course. You can do like 2 6 weeks if you're in college, or if you've already got your degree, you can just do it all in one summer kind of thing. For those of you who are interested in possibly doing an officer program, I highly recommend it. John, I really didn't know the Marine Corps until I became an officer. And I know that sounds silly, but when you go to, officer candidate school is just to weed you out. And we had 60% attrition at officer candidate school. They want it. At boot camp, they want to try to keep you.
Yeah.
At officer training, they would try to get rid of you. They do their best to get rid of you because whoever sticks through it, they feel like it's going to make a better officer. So, going into the basic school, it's 6 months of platoon commander training. It's phenomenal. We get on every weapon system. We ride on multiple aircraft. We get on ships and we did splashes when we had the AAVs, ship to shore movement, beach assaults. We did all of that stuff next to our meals affair. Our rooms were all together. So it was in the very beginning when officers were integrated.
Okay.
It was only within the first 4 years of male-female integration, which was kind of cool. Maybe 2 years. I think 2 years of male-female. I think it started in '92, and this was '94.
Okay.
So at the basic school in Quantico. And it was amazing. It was hard because you were in class and you were in the field, and you were in class and you were in the field, and it was relentless. And it was great. So Coming out of that, I got logistics. I got supply first. Went to supply school at Camp Johnson. You know where that is, up at Camp Lejeune, just south of Camp Lejeune. Went to supply school, and then I got stationed at Beaufort, South Carolina, Marine Corps Air Station. Combat Service Support Detachment 23. We're still friends. We got a Facebook page, and so on my 23, I'll make sure we post this on my different unit websites.
We're gonna have a lot of units to post this to.
Yeah, they'll love it.
Okay.
And also Amtrak units I've been a part of. They're gonna all love it. So I go to reunions with these guys pretty much every year.
Cool.
But anyway, so just best of times. I was the XO and the supply officer for Combat Service Support Detachment 23 for Jeff Hooks. My buddy's retired as a colonel. He's down in St. Augustine. Shout out. Fantastic. He took me to Afghanistan several years later to be his one of his officers in charge. So, you know, the Marine Corps is so small, and I'll just take a little break from the whole chronological history thing. Marine Corps is so small. How many times, I can't even say over the years, how many times paths have crossed and recrossed, and friendships rekindled, and working respectful relationships have, you know, come to pass. And it's the most beautiful fraternity. I always say I am a proud card carrying member of this boys club.
Yeah.
And I mean that. I really do.
Well, the Marine Corps itself is small, but then to be on the officer side, you're talking even a smaller percentage, like 1% of that. So I can't imagine how many times you ran into the same officers over and over.
So many times. So that was my first assignment as an officer. And then I applied for augmentation. Officers don't just, it's kind of like when you re-enlist, but we have to apply with a professional dossier to Headquarters Marine Corps to be considered to stay on active duty. And I did, and I was accepted. And I had the opportunity to either be a staff officer at the Naval Academy or my B billet. We have to do B billets after our first initial in our MOS. Then we go to B billet or a recruiter. And so I went and interviewed up at the boat school. I call it the Prick Academy up at the Naval Academy. No offense, guys. But I just didn't get I didn't get a warm and fuzzy about it. Yeah. And then I went down to Jacksonville, Florida to 6th District recruiting. And I really felt like, okay, these are my people. I'm kind of a people person anyway. I love my product. I love the Marine Corps, so I can sell it. You know, if you love your product, you can sell it. Yeah. Right? Easy as that. And I did. And we made mission every year and had terrific staff NCOs. I had to fire one, but he needed to be fired. But the one subsequent to that, Presley, Staff Sergeant Presley, then Gunner Sergeant, he went on to do great things. Fantastic. I had University of Florida. I had Georgia Statesboro. I had Georgia Southern. I had those are my big aeronautical Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach. So I had really great schools. Of course, it was hard to get people qualified from Georgia Southern because your EL scores have to be really high, and generally speaking,
you don't see that at Georgia Southern apparently. I guess.
And your SATs and so anyway, it was a little harder. I didn't spend as much time at Georgia Southern. No offense. I spent more time at Embry-Riddle. And funny story, you're not believe this. So as I was recruiting, and we're talking, this is 1998, 9, and 2000. Okay. No, 99, 2000, 2001. Those were my 3 years on recruiting. Okay. I'm working down at Embry-Riddle, working the campus. My candidates, because I bring my candidates from those schools to stand with me in their Charlies, and we're there, and we're recruiting. I have this, he was from Saudi Arabia. This guy come, and he kept hassling. Number one, he didn't want to talk to a female because they were just too good for that. I guess he had some royalty in his background or whatever. And so he was rude as crap to me. He wanted the Marine Corps. He wanted to be a Marine officer. I said, you're not a citizen. We don't accept citizens. We don't do any of this. No, enlisted, you can do that and work your way up. That's fine. We do not take anyone who is not full-fledged citizen as an officer, period. End of story. He did not like that answer at all. So he kept coming back, and he started threatening me. My lieutenants were like, do you want us to take him out? I'm like, nah, he's not worth it.
Not yet.
Let me tell you what happened. Okay, so we're talking about 2000, 2001. You probably don't remember this, but when the terrorists flew the planes into the Twin Towers. He was one of them, Muhammad Atta. I swear, as soon as I saw his face, I still get goosebumps. You see this?
Wait, so you? Oh wow.
He was trying to get into the Marine Corps aviation program as an officer, so we would train him for that mission to fly into the Twin Towers. Swear, I mean, as God is my witness.
That's a story.
I've phenomenal.
Okay.
I mean, I was just like, dear God, what the crap? And so, so that was at the end of my recruiting time, and I was pregnant with my son Dawson, who later became a Marine, Uram. But at that time, I was pregnant with him at the end of my tour. And so I decided to go back to the reserves because I really felt like I needed to be, more available. I had a daughter when I was a captain. I had to dump her off at the daycare every morning at 0 dark, and either me or my husband would pick her up. Oh yeah, I got married. I forgot to tell you, I got married and had a baby in between those stories. Well, anyway, just another chapter. So she was 4. She was 4 years old, and I got pregnant with my son. So I got off of active duty. Of course, during the whole ramp up after the Twin Towers, then we're talking war.
Yeah.
So I go in the reserves. I spend some time with my children at home, nurse my son for a whole friggin' year. I couldn't wait to get him off. Oh, golly, it's hard. But it was a blessing.
Dawson loves to.
That's why he's so strong.
Yeah.
That's why he's so big, strong.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. But my daughter and my son, got to have me for that time. But then OIF 1, we started mobilizing reserves to augment the active duty to go into Iraq. And so I was in Jacksonville, Florida, stayed in Jacksonville, Florida. Well, the unit that's there is Bravo Company, 4th AAVs. Cool ass boys and girls. We only had a few girls since it's a combat arms unit, females that is, but great guys. We call them all kinds of crazy things, but they're amazing. So I got to spend that time with them. I was the rear commander while they went forward in OIF 1. Okay. And so I kind of took care of the families, and there was a ground support, aviation support school that I had to manage. But anyway, so got to take care of the families in their absence. And that was the first time that war was really televised. CNN reporters actually on the vehicles, which really pissed off the AAV guys. I'll tell you why, because they couldn't take their females. We had our armorer, Stacey McCann. She's awesome. She was the best armorer, and they would not take her. But then they let a female reporter on their Amtrak, which pissed them off because she would crap and throw up and whatever. Yeah. So it was really a strange time for combat arms units with regard to the females that belonged. But regardless, they did a fantastic job. There were a few little snafus with the active duty, but when they came back, really felt like this was really something that they did that was put them in the history books. We had a reservist who, and you'll find this with reservists, they'll have all these other skill sets, and when they get mobilized for something, they can use maybe they're an engineer, maybe they're a hydroelectric specialist. Well, that's what happened. Haditha Dam broke. And that was terrible. They were out of electricity and all of that. And this is in Iraq, of course. And you can look this up. And one of the reservists was able to get that dam going because he was a hydroelectric specialist engineer, something or another.
On the civilian side.
On the civilian side.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's the beauty of the reserves, is that you've got, potentially a lot of skills that can be utilized for various things that you never know was going to happen. Yeah. Things pop up. Oh yeah, I can do this. I can do that. So let's see. Where do we want to go from here? Do you have any questions? I guess I should stop talking for a second.
I mean, you can make it to 2021 because all my questions are post 2021. So however quickly you want to get to 2021.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do y'all need a nap or anything? Okay.
They probably already skipped. They probably already skipped to the end. If I know my watchers, they're probably already at the end. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying these stories, so I'm not going to tell you to stop at any time. But if you want to skip a few years, hit 2021, hit
Yeah.
getting that DD-214,
Okay.
and I might have to just have a second episode where you just tell stories
Well,
because some of these are pretty
I've
cool.
got stories when I went to Iraq for 13 months. I've got stories when I was at the MEF headquarters as the chief of staff. I've got stories in Afghanistan, year in Afghanistan. I don't know how far. Maybe we do another one.
I think we're probably gonna have to have another episode where we just dive into some of these stories.
Yeah, I like the combat stories because I got put in some pretty amazing opportunities, and I would have died story had it not been for divine intervention.
Okay,
So
I'm sure they would love to hear
we
that one
can
for
we can
sure.
do that. I'll have to stay tuned and do maybe a part two some other time.
I've already talked to a few other like guests that I've had on, and some of them, like my brother, the last episode, he did 20 years. He was there through all of the early 2000s, so
Hmm.
he has a lot of stories that he didn't get to talk about. So I was like, we're definitely going to do an episode 2. So
Okay.
I'm definitely going to come back to previous people and do another episode, follow up
Yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah.
But what we can do is just hit that 2021,
Yeah. Okay.
and we'll retire. Yeah. So we're retired. Okay. So
Retired.
that's your RAM, right?
Hmm.
And 36 years. Thank you for your service.
Oh, what an
Um,
honor.
the amount of stories in 36 years, I can't even imagine. And some of those are really cool, like meeting Oliver North and the man that flew one of the planes into the Twin Towers. Like, that's crazy. I can't even believe that. But let's talk about the run. So what you've been doing since 2021.
Okay.
So I know you sent me your. So you have your own business. Talk about that for a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that I didn't start that until 2024.
Okay, so that's more recent.
So that's more recent.
Okay.
2021, I worked for Booz Allen Hamilton, a defense contractor, and we worked support to the Marine Corps. So whenever I had a reserve billet and a civilian job, I generally had something to do with support to the Marine Corps acquisitions or whatever. But I was a contract specialist, so I
Okay.
wrote contracts for acquisitions for certain things that you can't get through the military system
Okay.
to meet needs that the one MEF had. I worked specifically for one MEF out in California. I was out in SoCal for a long time. So after that, and I worked for another Selkie, another little company doing the same thing. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own company. So I had started a company called Max Advantage Consulting, which
Okay.
was very, uh, did a lot of stuff for military acquisitions contracts. I did that for 3.5 years. And then this past summer, I started a company because when I came back to Carrollton, which was just 2 years ago, I had so many people saying, teach me how to shoot. I want to learn how to, how to have a gun. What kind of gun should I get? So wherever I went, because they knew I was Marine, they just assumed, which assumed correctly, that we have experience with weapons.
Yeah.
There you go. And so I thought, you don't really want to put a weapon in somebody's hand if they can't find their keys, phone, or wallet. So what's the predecessor to training gun with weapons is situational awareness, right? Knowing the laws, knowing your safety rules, and then finally you get to in the fourth series, you get to do you want to do lethal, you want to do non-lethal. If you want to do lethal, there's a whole lot of training that has to happen before we put live rounds, a lot of dry fire, a lot of having your weapon around so that you learn how to pick it up quickly.
Yeah.
Just point and grab, know what you're doing, and of course the rest of the story. As far as people with guns, it goes badly sometimes.
Sometimes for one person or the other.
And
Yeah.
especially females. And no offense to my females, and I have to watch my own head too. We get a lot of crap like cycling through our brain. So learning to focus, be present in the moment, situational awareness, that kind of thing. But my little company's called Southern Arms, alert, ready, measured, secure. That's arms. So that's my goal, is to help people be more alert, ready, measured, and secure in their dealings with their home, their family, their churches, their community. When I go to park somewhere, I don't just do in park. I'm looking what's on my left and what's on my right. What's here? Where is that? Who's in front of the store? Do you see over there? Okay, what are they doing? And I definitely don't sit there and scroll on my phone. Put the dang thing down. Nothing's going to change. The world's not going to end.
Yeah.
Put the dang thing down. So that's really what my company is designed to do. So I do private parties, or I do a seminar here and there. Take folks to their firing range. things like that. I've got non-lethal weapons as well. I burn a gun, which looks like a lethal weapon. And I guess if it was like this, I could kill
It
you,
would
or I
definitely
would hurt you
probably,
pretty
yeah.
bad. But it's got rubber balls, and some with gas, some not with gas. But you can stop somebody pretty quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what I'm doing now, and I do a lot of civic kind of. I work in the community.
Okay. So your company is focused mainly on females.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, or a male, but I won't bring him into the all female seminars. I'll do some specific
Yeah.
training, because
Like singular
sometimes,
training with
yeah.
females. Okay.
Oh, another thing, a lot of women don't want their husband. Their husbands are like, "You need a gun, you need." They don't want their husband to train them
Mm.
because there's that relationship, there's that rub, there's that little bit of
Yeah.
dissonance there. So,
Yeah.
so it's a little more comfortable. Sorry, a little more comfortable to have a female's touch with it, I think.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, I don't like to cuss on my own YouTube channel, but she's a badass. Like just the 36 years and then currently what she's doing. And I literally learned last night and this morning what she does since she got out. So that's pretty awesome. I like knowing that.
Thank
If I
you.
ever get a girlfriend or a wife, I'm going to send her your way because she's not going to want to learn from me.
Yeah.
Um, so as a, prior service female, and now you have a company where you train solely females, like we have a lot of female veterans. We have a lot of female active duty, a lot more than back in the 80s and
Mhm,
90s.
mhm.
Like, is there anything specifically that you could say to this channel, specifically to females, that, like, as a veteran, that would be just some good advice for strictly to females? Because most of my guests so far have been males, actually all of them. And so yeah, they give good advice, but it's usually directed mostly at men.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
is there any good advice that you could give, like a female who's either maybe active duty looking to get out, and maybe like, I don't know if I can get out, I might have to stay in,
Mhm.
or even a veteran that's already out who's just kind of lost her way?
Yeah. Well, here's what it took me. I had to quiet the noise. We are so focused on performing and performing and performing, and struggling and making sure we're you know, there's a lot of anxiety that can be associated with your military service, um, just because of the level of expectation, right? Marines expect the best always.
Hmm.
It's great, but it also can be very anxiety producing. So I would say that finding your calm place is the place to start. Getting quiet. You got to quiet your mind. You got to really take care of your body, because I think sometimes we use and abuse our bodies pretty heavily. I mean, there were years when I drank terribly, and I pushed myself to the limits and didn't get the right amount of sleep and didn't hydrate properly. Just didn't really put myself first. And so, not to be selfish, but if you're not taking care of yourself, it's kind of hard to take care of other people and do good things and know what you want to do, because there's always like this confusion. What do I do? What do I do?
Hmm.
But when you can get to your quiet space, and for me, it's prayer. Like, I spend a lot of time in prayer, and you can call it meditation, but really manifesting the things that I feel like I was blessed to do in the world,
Hmm.
like with my gifts. I
Hmm.
have gifts. Everybody has gifts. What are those gifts? What would make me happy? Like, what would I want to do if I could do anything in the world? What did you want to do when you were a kid? It's like, kind of try to figure out, what are you best designed to do in your civilian world? Or you can go get a job because you need to make this amount of money, or you can maybe spend less and have a little more flexibility.
Hmm.
Is kind of like, it's a payoff, but generally, when you look at it at that level, you give yourself permission not to just jump on the first thing that offers you you know six figures, or maybe not even that much, but just the rat race.
Hmm.
Getting out of the rat race for a minute or two is important. And if you need help with benefits, truly, if you need help with benefits, and you really feel like whether it be educational benefits or health care benefits, please reach out. Reach out to me through John, or reach out to American Legion. There are a lot of, or the veteran, the Trinka Davis. I don't know how far this goes out. Your Veterun.
Hopefully it goes out pretty far soon.
But there are a lot of organizations that are willing to help you get the kind of support that you need. And I'm willing to have a chit chat. If you'd like to talk to me, then you can reach me through John.
Yeah. So like you're saying, just if that's you and you make it this far in the video, I don't know, we're probably like 30 minutes in, maybe a little bit further. Like throw a comment in there and just be like, hey, I want to talk to somebody. Because my wow, hold up, my last episode was with my brother, and that was his advice. It was about finding a calm place. So he invited people to his farm. He's got a creek that runs to the backyard. He's like, come sit by the creek, just relax, you
Beautiful.
know.
Beautiful.
So that's a really good piece of advice. Is just
Absolutely.
calm yourself. That's
Yeah.
why I went back to school. You know, I got
Mm-hmm.
out of the rat race for a little bit.
Yeah.
Haven't really had a job in 4 years. I graduate next week, so I gotta
Congratulations,
find a
man.
job.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I gotta find a job now, other than my YouTube channel. Um,
Well, I don't
but
know. This may kick you on up.
I hope so. I hope I can get out there and spread some good word through this. So if you make it this far, share it. You know, that way I don't have to work.
Well,
um,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So I just had a really good question going off of that. Because you did 36 years, and the majority of that time was spent in leadership roles. Because early on in the Marine Corps career, or in a Marine's career rather, you're put into a leadership role, whether it's a team lead, squad lead, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what traits do you believe define a truly effective leader? Like, you were a leader for, I'd say, minimum 34 out of
Mm-hmm.
those 36 years.
Know yourself.
Yeah.
Know your strengths. Know your limitations.
Okay.
And that will help you know your Marines, because we're all the same. We really are all the same. We have very similar needs. We have very similar modus operandi, where most of us are type A personalities.
Mm,
So we got to be getting at something. And if there's an occasional person that's not, uh, generally they kind of slip off away. But when you show genuine care for your troops, for your Marines, whether it be, you know, your private to your whomever, the
mm.
highest, the lowest, they know it, and they know if it's real. Did you ever have somebody try to fake that they gave a crap about you?
Oh, all the time.
Hate that.
Yeah.
Hate that.
It's usually staff NCOs. I don't know why. It's always well, actually, it's usually the E8s. I don't know why. It's always the gunnies. They're always the ones that are like, I care about y'all, and then you're like, no, you
No.
don't. Yeah.
Real quick. I was back when I was a PFC, a Lance Corporal. I'm diddy bopping down the hallway. There's a mass sergeant who was standing out like this in the
Mm.
hallway. He's like, Lance Corporal, how you doing? I said, oh, fine, Master Sergeant. He's like, you have a good weekend? Yeah, and I did this and I did this. He's like, I don't give a. I was like,
I thought you cared about me.
so that's funny. It goes right into that.
Yeah.
So I quickly zipped on down the hallway to the ladies' room, ducked in. I was like, oh, what just happened?
this big scary EA just yelled at me. E9 yelled at
It
me.
was hilarious, actually. Now
Yeah.
that I look back on it, it wasn't hilarious at the time, but yeah,
But now it is.
now
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
I'm sure if you ran into him today, you
Okay,
guys.
but
Yeah.
so that I would say, if there's one takeaway, is truly know yourself,
Yeah.
know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and then get to know people at a real. You have time
Mm,
to get to know people, and it's not so hard.
mm,
It's truly not, and also have grace.
mm.
Have for much is given to me, I should give to others. Sorry, I keep working my microphone.
That's all right.
I mean, be cool.
Mm,
Yeah, still have your expectations. Train people to what. If you have an expectation that they should know something, freaking train them.
mm.
Train them in a way that they enjoy doing it. Maybe they don't love it because some things just suck, but train, and then hold accountable.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Yeah. Do you think that pertains also to like, because I'm sure a lot of the people that are watching might not even be active duty. They might be veterans, might not even be veterans, might just be
Mm-hmm.
regular civilians. Because
Mm-hmm.
I do push it to them as well because there's a lot of good information in here that they might not know, or that can also pertain to them. But would that same trait pertain to those people as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everybody, doesn't matter if you're military or civilian. That's just basic.
Yeah.
That's just basic humanity.
So just be good at what you're
101.
doing. Put your
And be a good human.
yeah.
Then sometimes people think in the military you got to be a certain way. Well, yeah, you do kind of have to look a certain way, and you have to kind of
Mm,
hold yourself a certain way. But who you are behind the camo or the Charlies or whatever you're wearing, behind the haircut, behind that, who are you?
mm,
Do you have integrity? JJ did tie buckle. I
JJ did
mean,
tie buckle.
that goes all the way from beginning to the end.
Mm.
You
I'm gonna
know.
have to put that in the comments because they might not know what JJ did tie buckle is. So I'm just gonna have to list
Justice
those out.
judgment, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Go
gonna
through
list.
all
I'll
the
list them out for you so you guys can see
leadership
them.
traits and characteristics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll need
yeah,
the principles in there too. You
yeah,
need the.
all of them.
There's so much stuff that
Well, they're
just comes back
timeless.
sometimes.
They're
Yeah.
timeless. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys heard it here first. Once again, 36-year retired Colonel Margaret Miller, resident here in West Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to have the opportunity. And she's trying to get me to be part of the American Legion and all these other things. You're part of like, what, 4 or 5 different groups here, veteran groups in the West Georgia area. And I know you said you do one in Atlanta as well.
Yeah.
What's the Atlanta one called?
The Atlanta is the Marine Corps Coordinating Council of
Okay. So that's
Atlanta.
Marine Corps
So
specific.
that's that we have a huge outreach and a very big core of board of directors. So, you know, if you're in and around the Atlanta area, Marine Corps Coordinating Council, you can find out we help. I mean, we have charities, we do golf tournaments. So we have funds that we can help people that are in need. We can help them with various resources. So yeah, it's a great organization. Also, the Carroll County Veterans Memorial Park, I'm the membership chair for that. We have a memorial park next to the sheriff's department, so y'all come see it. It's really beautiful. You could buy a memorial plaque for it, or if you can't afford one, we've got little grants for that too. American Legion, I'm a junior vice commander. Steve Fuller, who is also our county commissioner, my county commissioner, he's the commander. I do children and youth. I work with children and youth with American Legion. Another organization is not a veteran organization, but it's Kiwanis, and it's for youth. And I'm the president of the Golden Kiwanis of Carrollton. And then I kind of help support a few others, but just in tertiary roles.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about being retired is that I have decent amount of security, and I can do things for other people, which is really helpful. Yeah.
Okay. No, you have your hands in everything. Sounds like
A little bit.
I'm surprised that I just found out who you were 6 months ago. I'm surprised I haven't heard of you before.
And I'm still, of course, on weekends I try to hit some cool hikes and stuff. I did Mount Baldy a couple of weeks ago out in LA County, and of course did Mount Kilimanjaro last year. But it's fun to just keep pushing yourself. So don't let yourself kind of slack off too long. I kind of did a little bit. I've got a little extra weight on me, but I'm getting there. But it's easy if you got injuries and you're just hurting and stuff, which it happens. Getting old is not for the faint of heart. So you just got to keep pushing your body, keep pushing your mind, get up and challenge yourself in the morning. Set your goals the night before so that when you wake up, you got to get at something. If you don't have something to get to, it's kind of hard to kind of get a little sluggish.
Yeah. Stay active.
Stay active, yeah. You
Yeah.
don't have to be a gym rat. Or you get on the floor, do some push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks.
Yeah. Well, like 4 out of the 5 episodes so far have been gym rats. So I need to start getting to the non-gym rats here. But yeah, so we're going to wrap this up. So once again, if you've made it this far and you missed the first part for some reason, go ahead, hit that follow, subscribe button. And I know she said she's got a lot of groups to share this out to. So I expect all of you guys to be watching this and listening to her stories because these were fantastic.
Thanks. I got a whole bunch more.
I know. So stick around for episode 2.
The combat tours and the stories I've got with Iraq and Afghanistan. Those are I can't make it up.
Okay.
I mean, it's just crazy the things that happened.
Well, we'll have to dig into those for episode 2. And somebody the other day was saying that I need like a Veterun 2.0, where I dig more into like the ran side of things versus the run. But I do like to push the run because, my whole deal is Veterun is a purpose of motion.
Yeah.
So like, yes, we're veterans and like we love Veteran Day. We love being celebrated as veterans, but that's what we were.
Yeah.
We're not, we are veterans, but we're veterans. We're running. We're still active. We're still in the community. We're still, going to school, bodybuilding, starting businesses. And I love to point out, I don't know if you were there. No, you were. Yeah, you were at the business college. We was talking about how we're like 7% of the small businesses owned in Georgia are by veterans. I'm sure 6 out of the 7% are probably Marines because we're just go-getters.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're a purpose of motion, so we're always moving, we're always grooving, and we're always pushing. But you know what we do? We run.
Keep on running.
Keep on running. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
I
Thank
did
you.
not give you your shirt. I'm so sorry. We're not done. She gets a shirt too. It's just been
Thank
sitting there on the table this
you.
whole time.
Thank you.
So I don't know. I might cut it before I give you the shirt. They'll be like, "Why didn't she get a shirt?" And I'll be like, "Well, no, she did get a shirt. It was just after."
Thank you.